Yes, today, 18th October 2020, Tamil views. We're going to talk about what happened in France. Recently, there is a killing. It's a school teacher was killed by a fundamentalist. So we're going to talk about this one. It's a very quick one. And here with me, Ravi Sundarlingam. He's a teacher, a school teacher, and intellectual, and he's also Sri Lankan ex-politician.
Very good. Thank you.
Right, Ravi, what do you think about how we understand the killing of school teacher by a fundamentalist who is not living around the school? He is far away, living 62 miles away from. He come and killed. How do you understand?
But understand mean there are three way to understand. One is you have to understand why the mind of a person works like that. That we have to understand. We will leave it to the psychologist for that one.
Okay.
Second thing is what kind of culture that creates that kind of person.
Yeah.
We have to leave that also at the moment aside. At the moment, we won't be able to explain. We don't know for sure where he come from and what kind of stuff. I am not 100% sure. But I know that he's a Muslim, and that's about all the facts we know.
No. He's a Chechnyan. He come from Chechnya to France as a refugee.
Yeah.
And there's a French government given under UN resolution is a refugee status to him. Like many Sri Lankan Indian, we all have.
I agree.
When he worked against the French system.
I understand that. But what I meant was he's a Chechenian. But remember, Chechenians, many of them, after the Russian onslaught on them, virtual genocide on them, they became radicalized by the Al Qaeda factions as well as ISIL factions. So they are radicalized for various reasons. So when I said which community he belongs to, what I mean is, who is he with? We don't know he is with the Chechenian people or with Arabs and other people. For his community, it's a difficult one to define, to know where is his bed is, where is he sleeping, and what kind of background he is actually absorbing ideas from. So we don't know. He is not necessarily Chechenian. Chechenian alone is not going to explain things.
Yeah.
Just to say he's a Muslim is not going to be explaining things either. So the second thing is, so these are issues which we have to try to work it out. But the question is what we can talk about is the question of who says you can't do this and you can do that. That's the question we have to ask. The question is, here the French teacher is killed. Apparently means something we don't know for 100% sure, because what he has done, what he was told on the media is that he was showing some kind of cartoons about Prophet Muhammad. And this is obviously made him very mad, this person or the community he is with, who pronounced some kind of fatwa on him. Okay.
But the thing is, what he explained in the class or whatever he shows in the class is not made by him. That is
doesn't matter. But the point is, their argument is you can't even propagate. That means you can't even talk about what is talked about already. You can't talk about Prophet Muhammad. This is a problem. So who says that? The Muslim community, by and large, says that.
No.
It is not just one person says that. All the Muslims say that. Very few Muslims who are secular Muslims or the Muslims by birth but they don't want to be Muslims are the ones who says that is wrong. All other Muslims, whether they accept the killing or they don't accept the killing, doesn't matter which way they go, but they accept one thing. They all believe that you cannot talk about, nobody should talk about Muhammad in a bad way. This is something they believe it, and as though it is something that not only they as a religious people adhere to, but even the people who don't belong to them must follow it as well. This is what I don't understand. You see, the kind of question is the Islamic teaching, and in madrasas or any of their masudis everywhere, they are anti-religious to all other religion. They can say anything about other gods. They can say anything about other religions. They preach it non-stop within their madrasas because that's what their duty is they has to phrase it. They must say something against it because it's been told that way. It is one of their duty to talk about other people as bad because theirs is the only right according to the Quran itself, apparently. Now the point is, so they can talk about Jesus, they can talk about Buddha or anybody else, but nobody else can talk about. Not only they can't talk about it as Muslims, they are not allowed to talk about Prophet Muhammad, but even the ones who don't belong to that can't talk about it either. That is the strangest thing. That means something else. How is it possible that they can stop other people talking about non-Muslims talking about Prophet Muhammad? Is a very strange thing because that logic doesn't apply. I have to believe in Muhammad in order not to talk about it. If you stop me talking about it, doesn't mean I'm going to become a believer in Muhammad. This sounds very logical to me. So that itself I can talk about. It means they are a forceful religion. It means it's not something that is going to convincing by argument or propagation. Either they preach you to death or kill you to death until you turn to Muslim.
Okay, this is the religion side, right? But as a society, the French society is a democratic society, and they have their duty to teach, their duty to freedom of expression and express explain to children those things today.
This is the way the difference is. You see, France is slightly different to England. In England, even though most of the Muslim people are living or ethnic minorities, not talk about Muslims alone, we talk about Tamils as well, same thing. They are doing the same thing. I go to East Ham, somebody tell me I can't talk about Prabhat.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is something, it's not just one group of people. This is about somebody who doesn't understand basic idea of other people's rights.
Yeah.
That's what it is. In a country which talks about other people's rights. But the question is, the difference between England and France is, England, people, even though they are living in a ghettoized situation among themselves, Asians live together, black people live together, we just have this kind of situation, and the white people are more and more moving out of their own areas and coming into white areas only. This separation is happening, but as a state, it is trying all the time to make sure that people are not radicalized and left alone so that they become radicalized. They are somehow part of the British institution. Even recently, the British government proposed the 5 points program, what is meant to be British, and that is being taught throughout the schools as a social science part of the curriculum. So children are encouraged to talk about it. And so I worked in a school where most of the majority of them are Muslim kids, lovely kids, no problem whatsoever. I used to talk to the imams and everybody. They are lovely people. They have nothing to do with any of these things. So we can't associate Muslim people because one nutter went and did something stupid. That doesn't make anything to me. But the point here is these people, they are, even though they are living by themselves, but they have connection with the British state. They feel they are part of the state. They feel somehow they are connected, except the ones who doesn't feel, very few. But the British government is trying to make an effort to make them feel they are part of the state. So this difference, even in Sri Lanka, they didn't make us feel part of the Sri Lankan state. That's why we started fighting. So the Muslim will do the same. It doesn't matter what you are, you will fight. In France, that's what is happening. The problem is most of the people in Muslim in the ghettoist area, if you go to France, outside Paris, you will see it. The settlements are basically ghettoized hotbeds for radicalization. They are not only poor, but also ethnic cocktails. Somebody only has to ignite a fire, it will burn. And you can see what happens every time there is some problems, it is happening. These situations happened in England only in the 80s. The government woke up to this. They realized, look, we may not like the black people or brown people, but we have to accept they're here. We have to do something about that. That realization is not there in France. They still believe France belongs to French and the others are invaders. This is where the problem is. So the problem is, even though they accept other people are living there, they haven't accepted them with heart, full heart, wholeheartedly. This problem is causing a severe problem among the younger people. The younger people obviously are immediately turning to anything which is turning them against the state. And one of the way is to talk about Islam, probably. Another way to talk about is to talk about some kind of extreme leftism. Some of them is extreme right-wingism.
Right-wingism as well. Yeah.
So it's all this happening because young people are not attracted towards the state. They feel the state is no longer theirs. They don't care about them.
Okay.
So they have to find their own way.
Okay. As a teacher, you are a school teacher, you teaching mathematics, physics, electronics, and so many things in your class, yeah? The children, you know how you teaching them, this you understand. How you, as a teacher, how you can justify any murder? Especially like in school teacher. School teacher is a social worker.
Yeah? This is what I'm trying to say. See, a lot of Muslim people, I mean, I started with saying that, probably believe that none of us should talk about Prophet Muhammad. That doesn't mean they're going to go and murder somebody like you or me just because he mentioned the Prophet Muhammad. See, they're not like that. They are ordinary people like you and me. They are motivated by certain instincts, cultural instincts sometimes, but when it comes to their senses, they revert back. They will stay back and say, no, listen, we are human beings. We can't do this to somebody else.
Yeah.
The problem is when you are mentally ill, and it doesn't matter whether they are suicide bomber in our own background, or suicide bomber because he's Muslim, or suicide bomber somewhere else. It doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
These are people who can be easily motivated because they have their own fault line somewhere, some kind of mental fault line, which is appealing. When it's appealed to them, they are willing to become a bomb for somebody else. So this is a problem. So this is, for me, by and large, is a mental illness. These are people, it doesn't matter whether they're Tamil, Sinhalese, Muslims, English, it doesn't matter. You can make them into one of them if you get hold of them and taught them the way you want to trigger them, so that they become motivated towards killing. See, they do that in army too. Remember, when they recruit people, you would have seen a lot of movies where the woman is sent to kill people, or man is sent to kill people. They become machinery for killing machines. They just become killing, and they don't think what they are doing is bad. They send them to Vietnam, for example. They train them precisely that way. So they go there. For them, killing is just like chopping up trees.
No, we did in Sri Lanka, and we in the wartime. How much of
that? So why do we then get too upset about it, about this issue? We should be upset about it because it's happening in our own backyard, because we escaped all this from Sri Lanka or Middle East so that we can be peaceful here.
Yeah.
When it's happening here, we are a little bit worried.
Yeah.
That's why we should talk about it. And also, most of us have become convinced democracy is okay. Then we start to believe in democracy. We start believing equality. Because of that, then
as you said, this is happening in our backyard now very closely, and we are talking about this has happened, especially in school as a teacher. That's a major of people's heart.
Absolutely. As a teacher, I'll be worried, of course.
Yeah. What is the difference you looking for understand between religious and ideological justification on this matter? That's the last point you tell me. And
we justified killing ourselves. We fought a war against Sri Lanka. We said it's all right to kill this person or that person. I mean, especially the military personnel. We said they are tools of the state, therefore you can kill them. Then one step further, we said, we can find some enemies among us. We call them Trohial, and we start killing them.
Yeah.
So we justified as we went along. Whoever we want to kill, we killed. And we said if finally there's one person, if he said he's okay to kill, we killed as well.
Yeah.
One person is a key, Trevor or somebody like that, and he says, if he says it's okay to kill, you go and kill. So I don't see the difference between that one and the killing of Islam or religious killings. Much.
They all say. They all
the same, because you are motivating somebody on an ideological basis. The only thing is the religious people won't accept that religion is an ideology. Religion is also, for a person like me, religion is another ideology. So between two ideologies, what is the difference? One is quoting some kind of religious textbooks.
Yeah.
We are quoting Marxism and Maoism, some kind of textbook.
Oh.
The difference is we accept they are man-made. The religious people don't accept they are man-made. They think they are God-made.
Yeah.
That's the only small difference. But we are both of us are citing the books in order to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only difference. There's no difference. So to accuse Muslims in a harsh way, I am not willing to do.
Yeah.
Because Muslims, it's like saying India is better than Pakistan. No different. The same laws are there in both countries.
Both countries, yes.
They have the same laws, no difference between the laws.
Yeah, English laws.
No. They even made worse laws after English left.
After English
But
left, yeah.
both of them. But somehow Pakistanis, we think Pakistanis are, because they are Muslims, because we've been told that way, that somehow India is better. Not true. Not true. In Pakistan, yes, the laws are used against non-Muslims in a way which we can notice. But the same thing is happening in India too, but we don't want to notice. We ignore it. Legally, they are both same state. It is our own way to understand these people in a different way. We chose to believe that they are bad people. We decided already they are bad people. Because fundamentally, I don't agree with Islam or any religion. That's what, for me, it's very clear. I'm not accepting Indian religions or Islamic religion or any religion. I'm not accepting.
Go Indian. So.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. For me, it's easier. But if you say I'm a Hindu and I don't like Muslim, I don't understand what it means.
Yeah.
For me, they are both same.
Yeah.
All they're saying is yours is better than the other. And that's what the Muslims are saying. So in the end, if you want to sort it out, you have to fight it out. Why are you complaining then? If they have to fight it out, and if he is winning, why you suddenly put your arm and saying, oh no, he's killing me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're both willing to fight. Why are you complaining? So if you are saying, look, we are not ideological, we don't care if a Hindu become a Muslim, but still believe in the philosophical views of Indians. So what's the big difference? If Murali becomes Sinhalese and still believe in equality, what's the difference? In the end, what are you looking for in the world? A person who accepts there are other human beings. We should not hurt them unless it is absolutely necessary that he is hurting everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Or that you think by removing him or doing something to him, society is better. That's why you put them to prison or something. But that is a decision by the society, by a state, not by individuals, not by a mosque, not by a text, but legally agreed by everybody.
That's called the law society. Law and society.
That is the difference between the legality of human beings and legality of God. That is the difference between ideology and religious ideology. In the end, human ideologies brings a state or some kind of figure who says, yes, I'm responsible in the end. We might say Pravaran is bad, but at least he says, listen, I am responsible for these killings.
Yeah.
I am ordering it. At least you can do that. But with the religious killings, you are quoting the book.
Yeah. Oh God.
Nobody is responsible.
Oh God.
Yes. It is passed on to somebody else. You don't even know that it exists or not. That is the difference which makes ordinary people very worried about religious ideologies, especially people like me. Are we okay?
I think, Ravi, we did something we talk about. That's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jodi.
Okay. Bye.